Morning guys, morning guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi Lisa, how are you? How's it going? Steve, good morning guys. So this morning we're gonna do a very appropriate topic of setting goals, because we just got started in a brand new year. So we need to make sure that we have some clear objectives to go for. So before we get into the actual goal setting, first thing I wanted to talk about is why set goals. Because a lot of people heard loads about goals, but they never actually set them, they never actually do anything about it, and they don't really know why. Some people just think it's a waste of time. But for me, the goals is very simple. When it comes to goals, I look at it as a football game, and I go, well, imagine if I took the goals away in a football game, what would you have? Well, what you would have is 20 idiots running around the field with a ball. So there's no direction to the game, because the whole point of the game is to kick the ball into the goal, right? So there's a direction to the game. But if you take the goals away, then there is no direction to that game. Well, exactly the same way goals are in life. If we don't have clear defined goals, then we haven't got a direction in our life. We're not quite sure where we're heading and when we're gonna get there, because, well, how would you know? Because you didn't know where you're going in the first place. So, if you were waiting in a bus stop and a bus arrived, and instead of the route name, it just says somewhere, would you get on a bus? Probably not. Probably you wouldn't take the risk. So the same way goals are necessary to give the direction. So that's first. Second is your conscious mind is just part of it. A lot of the action is actually happening without you knowing by your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is like a little kid, is like a 4-year-old child. It is eager to please you, but it doesn't know what is good or bad for you. And because most people load their brain with all the negative stuff and things that they don't want in their life, guess what? Their subconscious goes, well, if you're thinking about that all the time, it must be something that you want, right? So let me get you more of that. And basically they get more trouble, more problems, more whatever, right? So when we're setting goals, we're actually programming our subconscious to say, here, this is what I want. This is what I want you to work on day in, day out, right? So this way your subconscious mind that again knows the direction, and it can help you to get there. So that's really in a nutshell why it's important to set the goals. Now, when it comes to setting goals, there's a number of different goals we can set, and most people only set what we call business goals or financial goals. So they will set goals to make so much money, they will make, set goals to have so many cars and so many houses and all of that, which is absolutely fine, but that's just one type of goals. The other type of goals is personal goals. So these goals might be, to learn something, to develop something, to maybe go over a breakthrough or whatever, go over a certain fear, etc. So these are the personal goals that again you might want to set for yourself. And the third type of goals is relationship goals. Again, you can set relationship goals and things like, what do you want to achieve in terms of your family life, in terms of your relationship with your children, with your spouse, with your parents, with your peers, etc. Whatever, the respect you want to develop or recognition you want to get or whatnot, right? So these are the relationship goals again, which are quite important. All right. Then again, there are a few different types of goals in terms of what you want to achieve with them. So again, most people only set what we call result goals. And result goals is basically, I want £1 million in my bank account by December 31st, 2016. That's a result goal, which is a great goal, and it's great to set those, but most people only set these goals. Whereas reality is there are other goals as well. Another goal to set is an activity goal. So activity goal, unlike result goal, it basically focuses not on the result, not on the end result, but on the activity. So for example, if we talk about business, you know, I will prospect 2 people every single day, or I will invite 2 people every day to look at my business, right? That's an activity goal. It's not a result. It doesn't say so many people will say yes to me, or so many people will join my business or buy from me or whatever, but it just says I'm gonna do the activity, right? Or I will do, I don't know, 20 sit-ups every morning, or I'll whatever, eat salad, you know, once a day or whatever, right? So these are what we call activity goals. Now the reason why I like activity goals as well as the result goals, it's very hard to fail because it's an activity, right? So this way, you know, if you say I'll do certain activity, it's not results based. So, you know, you can do the activity, don't get the results, but you still did the activity. So you have the sense of accomplishment. Whereas with results goals, sometimes people get nagged out because they set a goal to achieve something and they didn't. They set again another goal to achieve something else and they did it. And they sort of get upset that, you know, they never actually achieve their goals. So activity goal is a nice goal to set because it's just the activity. You cannot fail it. If you do the activity, you get it, right? So that's the activity goal. And the last goal that I like is learning goals. So again, it's to learn something, right? So you might set yourself a goal, I don't know, to learn Spanish, or to you know, learn how to swim or whatever. So these are the learning goals. And again, learning goals are extremely important because they grow you as a person. And those of you who follow my trainings, you know that your value, or the amount of money that you actually earn, whether in a job or in a business or whatever, is determined by your value in the marketplace. And the only way to increase your value in the marketplace is to learn something new or something extra or something better, right? So by setting learning goals, you're actually growing yourself as a person and you're increasing your own value. So whether it's learning how to public speak or learning how to whatnot, right? It will help you with all of those things. So that's the learning goals. Okay, so now lastly, what I wanted to talk about is how to actually set the goals. Now most people, they will not they will set the goals in terms of, I want to have a brand new car, right? Well, that's not a goal, because number one, you don't want to word it in that way. You want to word the goal in the way that it's already happened, right? So you want to say, I own, you know, Audi R8 by December 31st, 2016 or whatever, right? So there's a number of things going. It's in present tense, so as if it's already happened. Again, we're working on our subconscious, which doesn't really know the difference, right? Like, for example, athletes, before they do a certain event, a race or whatever, in their head, they visualize already doing something, right? And their subconscious, the beauty of it, that subconscious doesn't know if it's actually happening or not. So if you're imagining something very vividly, your brain thinks that it's actually already happening. So if you, for example, if you're afraid of, I don't know, of public speaking, and you keep imagining, you know, really vividly yourself standing on a stage, talking, etc., your brain will think, okay, that's actually happening. If you keep doing and doing, then when the time actually comes to actually go and do the public speaking, your brain goes, well, you did it a million times already, right? So that's the beauty of it. So when you're setting goals, it's exactly the same way. You go, I already do that, right? Or already have that, or I have achieved that particular level or whatever, right? So you say it in a present tense so that your brain starts accepting it, right? It goes, okay, that's already happening, right? Number two, you want to set a deadline by when that should happen, right? Because if you don't set a deadline, then that's a dream. It's not a goal. It has to have a deadline, right? So when exactly it's going to happen, right? A month from now, or 2 months from now, a year from now, whatever, right? So that's also important to do. And next thing, what's important to do is set a load of these goals, right? So you don't want to set just 2 or 3. You want to sit down and write at least 50 goals between now and 10 years. So you're going to write goals that can happen next month, the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So you want to set about 50 different goals for the next 10 years, right? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to have? What do you want to experience? Places you want to visit, everything, right? And then once you've written down that 50 goals, you want to go and mark them 1, 3, 5, and 10, which means 1 year goal, 2 year goal, 3 year goal, 5 year goal, 10 year goal, right? And go through that list and mark those up. And then look at how many of each you have. So for example, some people, naturally, as you write these goals, you'll see that you have loads of 10s, but not that many 1s. that means you need to sit down and think of more goals that are short term, because you're thinking too much out there. Other people are going to be other way around. It's all going to be 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2, and not that many 10-year goals, etc. So then that means you thinking too much short term. You want to think a bit further, you know, in the future, and think, what else can I you know, what are bigger sort of things that I'd like to achieve and accomplish in life, etc. So that's also very, very, very important. Now with the goals, again, you want to do them that it's achievable, but not too easy. You know, your goals should stretch you, but they should be where your brain doesn't go that, nah, this will never happen. I mean, it would not, you will just reject it right away, right? So you want to, you know, if you made £20,000 last year, don't set a goal to make £1 million this year, because that's maybe just a bit too much out there, right? So you want to do it where it's a stretch, but it's not unrealistic. Now, final and probably the most important thing about the goals that I wanted to tell you is that you need to keep rewriting them. Now, the problem is that most people never set goals at all. I mean, they hear about it, but they never actually sit down and do it. Now, those who do it, majority, probably about 90% of people, they will just write it and leave it, right? Which is better than not writing them at all. However, it's not ideal. The best thing to do is keep rewriting your goals. So you write them, and couple of days later, again, you go through them and rewrite them and rewrite them and rewrite them. The reason why it's good to do that, because again, you're programming your subconscious mind to keep working on it, to keep looking at it. You know, the example I always give to people, I go, look, you decide to buy this particular car, and all of a sudden, the whole town is full of those cars. You keep noticing it everywhere. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it that, you know, because you decided to buy that car, a certain brand went into, you know, craze and started producing loads of these cars? Or is it just because you decided to buy that car, you start noticing it everywhere? And that's actually your subconscious. You know, you buy a new jacket and you start noticing these same jackets all over the town. The reason for that is because you're focusing on it now. So exactly the same way with goals. When you set a goal to achieve something, your subconscious mind then will start looking for opportunities and places and people who might help you to achieve that particular goal. So for example, if you set a goal to, I don't know, build your business and, you know, by so many people, etc., introducing into your business, then your brain will start noticing these people. It will start noticing the opportunities to talk to some people, etc. So if you keep rewriting these goals every single day, you keep programming it to look for it, look for it, look for it, look for it. But if you just wrote it on the 1st of January and then never looked back to these goals until the 31st of December, then you're not really priming your brain to keep looking for those opportunities. Awesome, guys. I hope you find this useful. If you're watching this on a Periscope, do subscribe to my channel so you will get more Periscopes. If you're watching this on YouTube as a recording, then you can subscribe to I like the hearts with 2016. What's that? If you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel to get more trainings like this. I'm also on Instagram. I'm at Home-Based Business Coach. And you can check out my blog at titaniumsuccess.co.uk/blog. That's titaniumsuccess.co.uk/blog. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day. And as always, I'll see you at the top.